My entire house is running on solar, including 2 air conditioners. People think it's very costly, very high maintenance. Nothing is true. In fact, my idea of installation of solar was only for this societal benefits. I collect from 3 or 4 neighbors. There are 2 vegetable stores in my area. They are throwing away the vegetables. I collect it from them. They are very happy to give it to me. Sir, please take it. I organically grow vegetables. During Corona days, I never stepped out. Whatever I could grow on my terrace, I was eating it. I find fault with the public, not with the government. Everybody comes and says, is there any subsidy? So why do you need a subsidy? You can install it without subsidy also. The Hindu newspaper reporter had come to cover that function. He heard me and he covered me.
Today, as we all talked and debate much about climate change, sustainability, where corporates heavily invest in energy efficient plants with sustainability goals, this man had a vision and established his own sustainable way of living decades ago. Today, we have with us D. Suresh, popularly known as Solar Suresh. Hello, sir. Welcome to your story conversation. We are really happy to have you here today.
First of all, thank you. You were sorry to give me an opportunity to share my experiences. See, it evolved over a period of time. I cannot say specifically when it started. No, I don't know about that. I was born and brought up in Chennai. I was in the Mylapore region, educated in Mylapore schools. Fortunate enough to get a good educational background. I graduated from IIT-Madras 1967 mechanical. Then I did post-graduation in management from IIM-A 1970. Had lots of corporate experience over 50 years. Worked for 4 different types of industries. I've always been curious to follow things and I observe. That's one of the difference which I have. Chennai is known for water deficiency. I remember during my school days, suddenly middle of the night, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, the corporation let water for 10-15 minutes or half an hour. No prior intimation was given. So the entire household will get up, go helter-skelter, even in a small cup we used to gather the water. That was a kind of an experience. So it was always in the back of my mind as to whether we can find some solutions. Then I found out even within Tamil Nadu, many villages, many houses, they used to gather rainwater. Then I was working in Ahmedabad. It's a desert city, Ahmedabad, Rajasthan, Kutch area. There during rainy days, they gather water and store it below the house in a storage tank, sump or whatever we call it. That was at the back of my mind. So when I got back to Chennai after my tenure in Ahmedabad, I said, why not I save the rainwater? And nowadays, lots of drums are available. Those days, drums are not available. So we have to dig up a pit and things like that. Now with plastic tankers available of different dimensions, I started gathering rainwater from my terrace. I have a huge terrace. I have an individual house. That's one major benefit. So rainwater is a very pure source. It is getting drained away. So I started capturing that water. It takes some impurities in the terrace. There are some minor do's and don'ts. First runoff, I let out the water. First 2 days of monsoon water, I let it out. Lots of dust is there. But 3rd, 4th day onwards, I start collecting it. I bring the water to one place and I do the filtration. I mean, the name is big, with nothing but pebbles, charcoal, sand. I pass the water through this system. So water gets filtered. Pebbles traps larger impurities, charcoal traps middle impurities, sand traps finer impurities. That water I take it out. I have an open well. That's a rare commodity nowadays. Most of the people they have closed houses. So I store the water in my well. In fact, corporation some 30-40 years back they came and told me to close the well I fought with them. I said, but one thing, you don't give me water. When I am storing water, why are you bothered? They spoke about mosquitoes. I said, okay, in that case, I've closed the well with a net. I've taken the precaution completely. They had a point, so I've taken that. In the last 35 years, my well has never become dry. What we call it in, see, water seeps in from all the four sides when the rain falls. All over the ground, water seeps in. What we call it in Tamil as Uthu. So water is also seeping in. I'm also storing water from the rain sources. So throughout the year, even during so-called drought years, when there were no rains for 2-3 years, my well was having water. I have a 5 feet diameter, 30 feet depth water, well water. During rainy days, it's full up to 30 feet. In fact, it overflows. But during the drought period, I had almost 10, 15 feet of water completely. So that is rainwater harvesting. It's the simplest thing to do. Doesn't cost anything, no daily maintenance. Now one day, one time, piping cost. You can't expect anything simpler than this.
Sir, you were talking about rainwater harvesting like some 30-35 years back that you had set it up here. Today, we see governments across the country promoting this rainwater harvesting, and we could say that you were pioneer in that, and you also say that it is very cost effective. But from rainwater harvesting to solar, Suresh, how did this journey happen, and how did this sustainable way of living in your daily life happen?
I used to run a factory, engineering factory, producing an auto electrical component called wiring harness. In that connection, I used to travel abroad. I went to Germany 3-4 times, and I saw individual houses with rooftop solar plants. I'm not interested in the megawatt scale. I'm interested in the rooftop residential. I went and talked to those families. There's no sunshine for almost 6 months in that country. They said, we are not interested in 6 months when we don't have sun. We are interested in 6 months where we have sun. So we have installed solar, we generate electricity. That triggered the idea in my mind. A country without sunshine, if they can produce, why we can't produce it in Chennai? We have abundant sunshine, we have only sunshine in Chennai. But then it was easily said than done. 20 years ago, components were not available, like panels and inverters were not available, vendor was not available. While I knew what solar can do, I cannot do the installation myself. It's like I can drive a car, I can't repair it, I cannot make it. But then I have another characteristic within me. I don't keep quiet. I try to find solutions. There are problems, I try to find solutions. So I literally chased, finally located a local vendor who came and installed it for me. My first 1 kilowatt cost me 3 lakhs. Today, which you can do it at 60,000 rupees. I was very keen to see how it is working, whether it is working or not. I didn't mind investing that kind of a money. So while I faced a problem, I located a vendor, I invested money, more than 3 lakhs to get 1 kilowatt. This was in February 9th, 2012, as early as that. That 1 kilowatt started working very well. Then I scaled it up by adding further 2 kilowatts after 2-3 years. And after another 3-4 years, I added another 4 kilowatts. So today I got about 7 kilowatts. My entire house is running on solar, including 2 air conditioners. What is not working is geyser, that is water heater, electrical iron, and micro oven. But they consume large power. We need large panels, which project becomes unviable. Whereas for the other other load like lights, fans, TV, computer, all appliances, washing machine, all those things can be connected to solar. Project is quite cost effective. Many people don't realize it. There are several myths and misconceptions. People think it's very costly, very high maintenance. Nothing is true. It is not at all costly, very easy to do the install. Now, of course, with components available with the government's support, government is also giving some subsidy schemes.
Yes.
It is definitely viable to do it. It is economically viable, environmental friendly, no rocket science, very, very simple, completely. I feel people should adopt this.
So, how do you help people in setting up these solar panels at their residence? So, you mostly focus on residentials, right?
I focus only on smaller installations, like up to half a kilowatt to 30, 40 kilowatts. I do. I'm not in the business commercially, but I clarify the doubts of people. More than that, I motivate people to do the installation. I convince them, please go ahead and do it. I get vendors to do the installations. I don't charge consultancy charges. I don't even take commission from the vendors. I'm in one man army trying to create an awareness and implement it. But that's where the fun is. Just talking is like political parties. So I don't want to compete with the political parties. So I do it and show it. So
So, you do
today
it with passion, like.
I do it absolutely with the passion. The idea is to find solutions for climate change. People are talking about climate change, global warming, environmental
Sustainable
degradation.
living.
In fact, one word, sustainability, has got so many meanings and it's being used so rampantly. Many people don't even know why they're using the word or what is the meaning of that word. For me, with respect to climate change or global warming, sustainability means avoiding using up natural resources. This is the Oxford Dictionary meaning. I avoid using up ground resources. By implementing solar, what happens? On my behalf, government does not use fossil fuels. They don't use coal. They don't use petroleum products. Incidentally, they save foreign exchange also. In fact, my idea of installation of solar was only for this societal benefits. Now I don't talk about societal benefits. A common man is not interested. But there are benefits to individuals for the common man. What are the benefits? It's very easy to implement, not at all costly, affordable. A common man saves electricity. The biggest benefit for the common man. No separate wiring is required. Just install the panel on the rooftop, bring the cable, connect it to an inverter and connect it to the mains. All the inclusions and exclusions are done at the mains itself.
So, how do you see change in behavior in people? Even though, like you said, people talk more about sustainable way of living and other things, but do you see any change in the last several years in people's mindset?
I
At least
can,
trying to go towards the way of
it is happening, of course. More than 20,000 people have visited me, but all of them have not installed it. In fact, people who have visited me, nobody has installed it. People who have not visited, they have installed. The conversion rate is very, very low. It's very high in Gujarat and Rajasthan, to some extent in Telangana, but not in Tamil Nadu. I will not go into the reasons. I find fault with the public, not with the government. Everybody comes and says, is there any subsidy? So why do you need a subsidy? You can install it without subsidy also. Interesting stories. One auto rickshaw driver has built a house outside the city limits. Electricity is not there. TNEB is still not connected that area. My local area auto rickshaw drivers, they know me as Solar Suresh. They brought him to me. I installed a half a kilowatt for him, costing about 30,000, 40,000 rupees, including battery backup. He was staying in a city residence paying rent. Today I shifted to his own house. He's avoiding the rent completely, including a pump has been connected, couple of lights and couple of fans, and his TV has been connected. Now he is living happily in his house without government electricity. What more you can ask for? With this now message is spreading. Lots of his neighbors in that area, they want to build house. They're all doing. There's one very big chartered accountants firm. They built a farmhouse in Perungudi. Some dispute with the TNEB, more than 5-6 years, problem is not resolved. They have not been given electrical connection. So in spite of building the house, they are not able to use it. They came to me. I have solarized the house completely. Now they are able to use the house, including using pumps. They connected AC also.
I'm sure you would have a lot of examples and experience that you shared like it now.
I can give hundreds of examples.
So, do you remember, sir, like when did you get this name as Solar Suresh? So who has named it actually?
One journalist from Hindu, very first week of my installation, I went to attend a program where a politician was supposed to come, our Kilpauk Resident Welfare Association. Since there was a delay, I had just installed about a week ago. I know the organizers. I said, can I engage the audience by talking about my solar plant? They said, please do. So I spent 10 minutes explaining to the audience that I've installed a solar plant and last 1 week it is working very well. The Hindu newspaper reporter had come to cover that function. He heard me and he covered me and he published it in the Hindu newspaper. He called me as Solar Suresh. The name got stuck.
So the title came to you.
Again, there are two types of solar systems, on-grid and off-grid. On-grid is without battery backup. Each system, there are plus and minus points. In the on-grid system, you don't incur battery cost. I produce electricity, I consume it, excess I give to the government. That is known as net metering scheme. I was one of the earliest in Chennai to do it almost 8 years ago. I get credit for whatever I'm exporting, terms and conditions apply. Only thing is government has changed the scheme very frequently. Right now the scheme is not very attractive, but still if it's possible, one can do it. But there is a very big drawback in this on-grid system. During daytime, if there is a power cut, even if sun is shining, the panel will not produce electricity. Theory is complicated. But for a common man's understanding, solar to start needs a reference point. It has to be either battery or grid. In the on-grid system, battery is not available. During power cut, grid power is also not available. So the panel is left like an orphan. So it cannot produce electricity. That's the drawback of the on-grid system. In the off-grid system, there's a battery backup. Morning to evening, solar generates electricity. We store the electricity in the battery. Alternately, solar charges the battery. If power cut happens, battery takes over the load. Every day evening after sunset, battery takes over the load. This is the benefit of off-grid. Of course, extra cost is involved in battery and battery needs replacement once in 4 or 5 years. Now technology is improved, it lasts for 5 years completely. I am probably one of the rare houses. People do either on-grid or off-grid, or both on-grid and off-grid. I am getting the benefit of both. These are all justifying my name as Solar Suresh.
And getting uninterrupted
Last
power
15
supply.
years, I have not had power cut even for 1 minute. During floods like December 23,
Yes.
there are 3 days power cut all over the city. I had power all the 3 days and every day evening I used to switch on my lights for the neighbors to see, to generate jealousy. I used to pay almost 15,000 rupees for 2 months. Now I'm paying 500 to 1,000 rupees for 2 months. I've recovered my money. The payback period is 6 to 7 years. I'm now running it for 15. Now whatever I'm getting is free. Solar life is 20, 25 years. What more you want? Nothing more. People talk about the negative things. First question they'll ask, so what happens on a rainy day? So what happens in rainy? How many days it rains in Chennai? 5 days, 10 days? You see Cochin airport is under solar.
Yes.
What is Cochin's rain? Bangalore cricket stadium is under solar. What is Bangalore rain? Bombay airport is under solar. Bombay cricket stadium is under solar. Bombay monsoon is notorious, 90 days rains.
Yeah.
So it doesn't rain for 90 days. It rains for 2-3 days, it stops.
Right.
Chennai also very heavy rains, cloudy days. The 2-3 days you will not get solar power. Are you interested in that 5 days problem or 360 days solution? People don't weigh this.
I think there is a lot of myths as we discussed.
Lots of myths. There's no separate wiring is required. There's no daily maintenance required. Nothing can be simpler than this. People should adopt it. Now, 15 days ago, 1 month ago, Prime Minister has announced an ambitious scheme.
Yes.
Surya Urja, or some say 1 crore houses he wants to connect. Idea is good, but he has been a little anxious because of maybe, I may be wrong, but I'm feeling because of the election he has announced this. There are several gaps are there, loose ends are there, people have to tie it up, but it's a good idea.
As someone deeply entrenched in the realm of sustainable living, what is your opinion on these young startups that are entering this space with a sustainability angle? So, how do you view this role in advancing renewable energy technologies in promoting eco friendly practices?
All of them are missing an obvious point, commonsensical point. They're all setting up charging stations using fossil fuels. According to me, they should charge using solar. It is possible, I have demonstrated. I approach big companies who are going in a big way in electrical vehicles. I've given the ideas to them. I've developed prototypes. They're still not adopting. That's a tragedy. I've developed a solar car, first in India. I developed a solar scooter, one of the earliest in India. Concept vehicles are ready, but nobody is willing to take it up. I got a portable solar charging station. Nobody, I developed this 5, 6 years ago. Maybe I was far ahead of time. Its time has not come.
So, where do you see the gap? Why do you think there is hesitancy in adopting such easy and cost effective measures?
Misconception, myths, laziness. There are naysayers. Maybe their weightage is more than positive sayers like me. I don't know. These are the issues today. We have to find some solutions. I'll give an interesting example. 15, 20, 30 years back, when the websites were being created for the first time, one big government department announced a tender for opening a website. I went there for the opening. One fellow quoted 5,000 rupees. From our company, we quoted 2 lakhs of rupees. That department got confused. Of course, they cancelled the tender. Then I ventured to give an explanation. Sir, you asked for transportation. You didn't define what you want. That fellow has quoted for cycle, I quoted for car. Both are right.
True.
So you have not understood what you want.
What do you
Same thing today, including oil companies, they have not understood the potential of solar. They are all using arguments how why not to do it.
Okay.
Now you take for example flats. Flats also we can do solar applications. But there what happens? Jealousy. I will not do it, I will not allow you to do it. Technology is there to do it. That's where Gujarat and Rajasthan, including flats, have done. The cooperative spirit is very, very high in Gujarat. I've seen physically. I travel to Gujarat very frequently. So here, I mean, it's catching up, not to the extent it should. Compared to the potential, it is not caught on that much.
So, moving away from solar, you also have other sustainable projects at your house. So, can you tell us more about it and how are you living this sustainable way of life?
I'm very proud to say there is no house like this in India. I'm making a bold statement. So far, nobody has questioned me. Anyway, that's a different story. My first project was rainwater harvesting, I explained. Second was rooftop solar. My third project is biogas, domestic biogas plant. This is nothing but the gobar gas plants of those days in the villages, farmhouses. They used to use cow dung to produce gas, methane gas. I used it for cooking. They used to dig up large pits and then do it, quite expensive. Nowadays, with the drums available, there are commercial companies who have developed smaller systems. By using, and cow dung is not easily available in the city.
Yes.
So what I've done, I substituted cow dung with kitchen waste. Again, the objective is solid waste management. People throw away kitchen waste outside, which breeds mosquitoes, germs, it's a health hazard. Whereas I recycle the waste, kitchen waste. The terms and conditions apply. I use only kitchen waste. There you cannot use dry leaves, plastics and all the only The wet waste can be used. By using kitchen waste, I used cow dung only once 15 years ago. After that, I have not used cow dung at all.
It's all the kitchen waste that goes
All
into
the
the
kitchen waste
plant.
goes into weekly. Once I feed about 10 to 15 kilo weekly. Cow dung, as I said, I fed only once. Cow dung generates bacteria, reacts with the food to generate methane gas that is used for cooking. There are two portions, bottom portion and top portion. Bottom portion is the gas chamber where it's a digester where gas is produced. The top portion is the storage of gas. It's a floating drum. It goes up and down. As I produce gas, it goes up. As I use it, it comes down. I evacuate the gas through a pipe and take it to the kitchen for cooking. There's a separate stove for this. There's no pressure in this biogas, so you cannot use the LPG stove. But today, people modify it and give a stove which we can use it. I use this gas for cooking. There's no pressure, so cooking takes a little slow. Plus, I also use LPG where there is a rule that every 6 months you have to buy a cylinder. Therefore, I buy only 2 cylinders a year. So I use LPG and I use biogas. Biogas, the flame, the calorific value is like LPG. Since there is no pressure, the cooking takes a little extra time. And again, since there is no pressure, you can't use a lighter. You have to use only a matchbox. These are minor inconveniences. If you, according to me, it's not an inconvenience
So you
at
have
all.
also set up these biogas plants at
I set up
houses
a biogas
recommended.
plant 15 years back. Again, the objective is solid waste management. Plus, I don't use LPG. LPG is ground resource. My basic objective, sustainability, avoiding using up ground resources. I don't use ground resource by using biogas. That's another
So
point.
as much as you can reduce, you are helping the environment.
I am doing that.
Yes.
Again, when I set up, people ask, oh, I produce hardly 200, 300 grams waste in my house. I need 4 to 5 kg per day, approximately. What do? I don't keep quiet. I collect from 3 or 4 neighbors. There are 2 vegetable stores in my area. They are throwing away the vegetables. I collect it from them. They are very happy to give it to me. Sir, please take it completely. So we have to find solutions. So I'm serving society by waste management.
So what is the cost involved, and is it easy for residents to install it easily with cost
Very easily
effectiveness?
do it. Now residences are vanishing, flats and apartments are coming up. We also developed a smaller system which can be set up in a balcony that costs about 18,000 rupees. The big systems cost anywhere between 50,000 rupees. You can install large scale plants also. 2 colleges have done 1000 kg waste per day plant. 1000 hostel students cooking is done on that biogas plant. Their waste goes into that plant and that is used for cooking their food. So that's a circular project. You can use human waste to produce biogas. You can connect your toilet. Only thing is, if you connect your toilet, you should not clean the toilet with harpic or chemicals. But nowadays, bioenzymes are available. For every problem, there are solutions available. I've installed this also with human waste. You can use biogas for producing electricity. The diesel generators, instead of feeding diesel, you feed biogas. Only the input has to be modified slightly. That can be done by any electrician. It's possible. I've done several projects. So most of the rural places, most ideal. You have a biogas plant, produce it, connect it to the generator, produce electricity. That villages and all those things. It's easily possible to do that. There's no daily maintenance. There's no smell, no odor, nothing. People ask this question, any smell generated? No. The reaction takes place in the container inside, in the digester. Only thing, the feeding the waste, if it's a 2-3 day old waste, that 2 minutes while feeding it, it might smell. But if you feed on a daily basis, even that smell is not there.
So what are the other projects that you have implemented?
After that biogas plant, in the biogas plant, when the gas is produced, the slurry comes out automatically. You don't have to scoop it out. That is rich, concentrated organic manure. I use that manure to grow vegetables in my terrace. I organically grow vegetables. I started with about 20 pots, today I got about 100 pots. During Corona days, I never stepped out. Whatever I could grow in my terrace, I was eating it. Today, of course, I buy vegetables from outside, but nearly about 10-15 types of vegetables I grow in my own terrace. Vandaka, Katrika, Takali, Kodamadaga, Mullangi, lots of keeres, everything I've grown in my terrace. It may be cheaper to buy from outside. I've not done the calculation. But the experience of seeing vegetables grow right in front of your eyes, that is priceless. Absolutely. So that's one project. Now a new one, last 3 years, I set up hydroponics. This is an Israeli technology growing vegetables in water as a medium. There's no soil. In Israel, there's no cultivable land, there's no rains, there's no water. So they use drip irrigation, they conserve water. So in the hydroponics, water is not consumed, water is recycled. You have to top up the water once a week. The water quality is very, very important. So you have to use certain nutrients. Soil has got nutrients. In water, there are no nutrients completely. So you have to use nutrients, circulate the water completely, or top up weekly once. There's a coco pit that retains moisture and that feeds the nutrients to the plants. Now all these things can now be installed in terraces. Terraces are all known as non-productive assets.
Right.
I'm using non-productive. I've done it in my terrace. There's one factory in Ambattur, I've done it. There's a school in Kotturapuram. In their terrace, I've done it. In Manakapakam, there's an apartment complex. In their terrace, I've done it. I'm trying to propagate this idea. This happened in Israel 50, 60 years ago. Coming to India only last 5, 6 years. Future is going to be in hydroponics. The soil has got spoiled by using chemical fertilizers all over India. So hydroponics is going to take over, and there's no water consumption. There's a water shortage now. Hydroponics is a solution.
Places like Karnataka, there is a heavy
Anywhere,
water shortage.
the whole India is going to be affected completely. So hydroponics is going to
So
be
in what scale this hydroponics can be set up?
huge. In Hyderabad, one person has set it up for 100 acres. In Perungudi, one factory, one fellow has taken 40-foot containers on top of factories and he has set up and he is exporting huge volumes. Huge volumes. Future is going to be only in hydroponics. So which I have done it completely. Then I have done one more Israeli technology. It's known as air to water machine. This machine produces drinking water from atmospheric air. There is moisture in the air. It compresses using a compressor and gives me drinking water. It runs on electricity. In my house, runs on solar completely. I installed it about 3 years ago. It's a very good solution for a city like Chennai. This is one technology. I'm doing the dry waste management. Newspapers and magazines were selling it for centuries. But with the advent of e-commerce now, lots of packing materials are coming in. Lots of you're getting circulars, invitation cards, newspaper, newsletters. You're swiping credit cards. You're getting receipts, batteries.
Yeah, a lot of e-wastes.
I'm not talking about e-waste. That's a totally different ball game. I'm talking only cells. You're using for remotes and all those things.
Yes.
Plus medicine foils.
Yes.
All these things are throwing it away. It all goes into choking up a rainwater drain, stormwater drain. Then you complain government is not doing anything. Common man is spoiling it. We collect this from individual houses. I mean, in Chennai, I'm collecting it about 5,000 houses, flats and houses. You as a customer don't segregate it. We give you a bag, you put it, and agreed frequency, we collect it, we segregate it. So we give employment to unskilled women, and we sell this as waste to industries. These are all industrial waste. Like thin plastics goes to bitumen industry, thick plastics and cartons go to boilers in the industries, and like that we do that. So we generate some revenue and we give some revenue to the individual customers. Our slogan is zero waste to landfill. Madam, like this, waste to wealth, I can keep on talking. I'm again talking about individual level. I'm not talking about large factories.
Scale.
No, that's different.
Sir, at any point of time, have you faced any challenges in either setting up or something that you had to overcome to find a solution while setting?
All these parts is what I've done. I've faced challenges. Availability of manpower, availability of technology. But I'm a person who finds solutions, I don't keep quiet. Plus, I also invest money. I take risks. I invest money. So I found specialists. I invested money, installed. One or two didn't work for some time. Then I went on attacking it, it started working. The biggest hurdle is motivation, inquisitiveness. All of you are going around. You observe so many things. We just leave it like that. When I observe something, I try to find what is its use, how it can be used for mitigating climate change, whether we can implement it. That approach has pushed me to do all those things. Finally, I conclude by making one very interesting statement, very controversial also. Many people may not agree, but that I don't worry. Do not expect government to find the solutions for you. Find your own solutions. John F. Kennedy, American president, 50, 60 years back made a famous statement. Ask not what the country can do for you, ask what you can do for the country. Why should government find a solution for water flowing in your street? They are supposed to do it. They are not doing it. But who is facing the problem? You are facing the problem. Can you do something about it? Have you done something about it? No. You are only raising finger. It's the easiest thing to do is to say, government is not working. Have you done anything? No.
And we are also in a way responsible in polluting these.
Only you are responsible, not in a way. You are responsible. Since you are responsible, first that old standard formula is there: reduce, refuse, reuse, and all those things. I am not following all those things. I call them as grandmother's solution. You switch off the lights whenever you don't want it. They're all solutions. They're all grandmother solutions. Today, you should do much more than 3 hours. Reduce, refuse, reuse. You should do something more than that. I've demonstrated in an individual house. I've done it. Now I'm getting it done in many houses: Chennai, Bangalore, Hyderabad. I've gone to Salem, Trichy. I've given talks, 500, 600 places. I've gone to rural places to give talks. People invite me. I'm very happy.
So, to end with, you said you are nearing 80 and still your spirits are really high to work in this space. So, you've already given a couple of advices to people, but what would be your advice to the current generation youngsters who really want to make a change and make an impact? So, how do you see them grow in a sustainable way of living? So, what would be your advice to them?
They should take action. They should not act like politicians and only talk about it. It's becoming a party talk. They participate in debates. They talk in the podcast. They give a talk. No, they should take action. And this also should be introduced as a topic in schools and colleges. One or two seminars is not the solution. That's the beginning. But now one or two institutions have started this, but multiple levels. So youngsters should get involved in this. They go for beach cleaning once in 6 months. Boss, that's not the solution. You should do it every week. That is where the solution is. They do it for photo optics. It's a newspaper value. I'm not doing it for newspaper. Newspapers are not chasing me. So I'm not chasing the newspapers. Youngsters, schools, colleges should do it. Colleges should adopt. Very few colleges are doing this, unfortunately. Including, I'm a graduate of IIT-Madras. They're also talking a lot, but compared to the potential, what they've done is negligible.
So thank you so much, sir, like for giving so much about your sustainable way of living and how you can inspire the younger generation. And I'm sure like people who are really, like you said, it is not just for a photo opportunity. And if they really want to live a sustainable way of living, then I'm sure they have to contact you. Your house, you said your house is always open to those who want to come and visit. He's in Chennai and you can visit his house. Even the Google map shows your location with your name.
Yes.
Yeah, you are listed.
As well as
So
Suresh, yes.
this would be our takeaway from you, sir, that people who really want to make an impact and show that they can lead a sustainable way of living, then it is you they have to follow. So thank you so much, sir, for joining this conversation with me today.
Once again, thank you for giving me an opportunity.
Yeah,
Thank you.